end, and that's all in the outer third of the ear canal. Beyond this point, and you'll see it a bit better here, so where I'm removing this sticky wax of the canal, you can see the change in colour of the skin as well. The more redder skin is the bony parts, a thinner layer of skin, whereas the skin that lines the outer third is cartilaginous portion, and it's a thicker layer of skin, a millimetre in thickness. So this is patient 2. So patient 2 had a bit of a narrower ear canal. They also had quite a few more hairs at the entrance of the ear. But this was a lot of wax, but also a lot of dead skin, a lot of dead keratin. So as I alluded to earlier, 60% of earwax, give or take, is made up of dead skin cells. But I would say this is a higher concentration. And in fact, the skin here, it wasn't individual skin cells. It was coming out in ribbons. So it's almost like the canal wall had shedded itself in its entirety, but the skin was still structured together. It was all linked together. And I'm just teasing this forwards and backwards. And because it's dead skin, it has this ability to fold over itself inside the ear as it's building up. And when you therefore remove it, it can stretch and it comes out in long strands and ribbons. The patient was quite surprised themselves. They felt slightly embarrassed by how much came out, but I explained to them that it's nothing of their doing. This can happen to anyone really, and it's because they were concerned that they're not cleaning their ears, and I said, well, we don't recommend you to clean your ears. Let your ears clean themselves. The more, if you try and clean your ears with water, for example, that can cause more issues, and if you try and poke and prod in there, you could push the wax further in. This patient's ear canal was bendier than the first patient, and again, that's another plausible reason as to why they're getting an impaction in this ear. It was also narrower, and it's the first time in their life that they've had to remove wax. This could have been an accumulation for many, many years, but it was unbeknown to the patient. And ironically, what made the patient think they initially had some wax was because their partner, their husband, had some wax removed a few weeks prior, and it just the patient thought they were imagining it, but because they were thinking about it. But they then immediately after their husband said that it made such a big difference. The patient then wondered whether they had wax, and they became more aware and attuned to their hearing or their lack of hearing in this case, in this left ear. And they're actually due to fly tomorrow, so they wanted to get the ears examined and any wax removed prior to flying. So you can see it's coming out, it's quite sticky. That's another characteristic of dead skin. As it dies and macerates, becomes wet and sticky and stretchy. Almost like caramel. Again, it's coming out in a long stretch. Resistant to use a curette, for example, because of the soft nature of this dead skin plug. As you use a curette, you could just squash it and spread it against the canal wall, which makes it a bit untidy. So just persevered with suction, as we can kind of almost suction it away from the ear canal and try and get it in large pieces. Again, I'm just using this rocking motion. I'm trying to go to the top. I'm seeing if I can get a suction grip at the top. I can tease it through because I felt it was getting blocked in that region. And we're almost there now. It's a huge relief for the patient. Because they've had this potential for many, many years, they got used to it. And sometimes it's only when you remove the wax and the patient can hear, as they normally should, that they notice the improvement and difference. And they were wondering how they were managing for all these years now that their ears have been cleaned. They were very grateful, just in nick in time for their holiday tomorrow. Again, I'm just mopping up some of this sticky stuff. And once again, you can see how narrow and bendy this ear canal is. I'm